Heidi Voigt in the studio with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Boy, we have lots to talk about again today. Where would you like to begin? Happy New Year, obviously, right?
Well, yeah, I would like to talk about the new year for sure. What happens in the new year?
Well, we usually start by talking about what has happened behind us, right? 2024. How did that shape up when it comes to real estate?
Well, overall, that the year was a little bit flat from the perspective of pricing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see large jumps in pricing, and nationally, pricing dipped about 0.7%. Locally, I would say that the pricing dips that we have seen are more in that third house that people buy.
Right.
The move up housing. We've experienced some lull in that pricing, and there's less buyers.
Some might call that the luxury category.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, if we have true luxury housing in the central Minnesota area, so, I would say if we were quantifying it, that 450 to 800 kind of range,
Sure.
those people are not seeing leaps and jumps in their pricing at this point.
I've often wondered if people have the wherewithal to buy $1 million or a $2 million house, the last thing they're going to worry about would be like property values and things like that. I would think they have the wherewithal to absorb some of those market changes. True?
Oh, I definitely think they do. But, one of the things that we have experienced, especially in the last several years, is that our buyer pool went from the people that couldn't afford that to a buyer pool where, can I afford the payment?
Right.
And so when people were making decisions on, can I afford the payment, it pushed a lot of people that normally wouldn't have, say, bought a $600,000 home, into that market. So,
Sure.
It does make a difference for those people for sure. But at this point, a lot of those people are going to still be in the natural tendency to still be staying in their homes. And
Sure.
and I don't think people are going backwards anywhere. I just think that from the perspective of overall pricing, we weren't on that trajectory to continue upward in
Right,
that.
right.
But
Now, home values are the best investment anywhere, are they not?
well, they sure are, and that's when you talk about the first of the year. I've been doing this since 2009, and with the exception of 1 year when I was out of state, I have shown property every year on January 1st.
Exactly.
Every year, and actually, this year it's been, the first 6 days of January, I showed property every day.
Is that right?
And so people go into the new year with the idea that they want to do their next thing.
Yeah.
I think the description of who we're dealing with might have changed a little bit from the years past, and what I'm seeing is that the people that we're going to be working with now are the people who have planned to be in the position where they're at. And they're the people that maybe couldn't buy when the interest rates were super low because they weren't ready, or they weren't old enough, or they weren't married, or they didn't have a job yet. And now they're in a position where it's a natural time for them to buy it. So the thing that becomes irrelative in those conversations, and I guess irrelative isn't the right word, it isn't the huge topic in the conversations, is that we're talking less about interest rates with these people because the interest rates are what they are.
Right. Right.
They're not going to change. And so going into this next year, the conversation is, can you afford it?
Mm-hmm.
Can you afford the home?
Can you afford not to is another way to look at
and
it.
And that's a big thing.
From my perspective, because I look at your life in segments,
Yeah.
right? You raise your kids. First of all, you're married, then you raise your kids, you do all of that kind of stuff. Kids leave the home, leave the house, you're an empty nester. And those segments of your life are all different, or could be all different, when it comes to home ownership.
100%. And the whole idea of home ownership should be the theme. Like, strive towards it. I think the conversations that we're going to be having, and I know even yesterday I had a conversation with somebody that they just said, I don't think I can qualify right now. I said, well, start talking about it now, so when we're visiting next year, you definitely can qualify. Put your plans in place. And I think those are the conversations that we're going to be having more with people, is save this amount of money, start budgeting for it, improve your credit.
Yeah.
Don't base your whole conscientious decision of being a homeowner on the interest rate.
Right.
Have it based on what makes sense for you. Because again, in the long run, can you afford not to? Because home ownership is what does give you control of your housing budget and allows you to build wealth.
I was just going to say the whole building wealth thing. It is so important. You know, we talk about the American dream, right? Well, a lot of that is, becoming a home owner, but also legacy.
For
right?
sure, yeah.
What are you going to leave your kids? Do you want to leave them anything, or you just want to, your kids are doing fine, good, I'm going to sell my house, take the money, and run?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And well, there's that too. You know, I guess one of the things that I feel like we'll definitely see in the news in the coming years is that they definitely talk about, you know, the baby boomers having this huge influx of cash and that who's going to get it. But what I don't think anybody has been banking on is that the baby boomers are going to live for a long time. A lot of these people have outlived where they had planned for. So some of this influx of legacy money that people maybe thought they were going to end up in their account eventually, it might be gone.
Mom and Dad, they just have fun, right?
Yeah.
You know, what Heidi's talking about is we are in the next 10 years, we will undergo the largest transfer of wealth from the boomers to the kids and their grandkids. And I'm telling you, it is a great time to be alive. This is my time, right here, right now.
Yeah. No, I think that there's a lot of positives in the horizon for us, but I think some of the topics that we have really over-focused on, I think it's going to shift.
Yeah, times have changed.
Definitely. And the thing that hasn't changed is that life changes provoke moving.
Yep.
And those are the people that we're always going to be working with, people who have new jobs, new marriages, new kids, all those joyful events.
And be ready for those changes. You don't know when they're going to happen, but if you start planning, you're not bowled over by, a catastrophic event or whatever.
Exactly.
And if the opportunity presents itself to get a home, you're in.
Absolutely.
Heidi, what's the best way to work with you at VoigtJohnson Real Estate?
Well, call us anytime at 320-774-2400 or check out an excellent gallery of agents on VoigtJohnson.com.
Heidi, thank you.
Thanks.